Hi, the phrase we're going to look at here is, well, the area where I grew up was actually quite a long way from the center, So this question here, tell me about your home or your hometown, is very common in part one. And so you might say, for example, I lived in Shanghai, but the area where I grew up was actually quite a long way from the center. And you can talk about that. So you might say, um, for example, it was it was a residential area. It took about 30 minutes to the center, about 30 minutes by tube or by subway to the center, and so on, and subway to the center, and so on. And then you could add some things about it. But this is a nice expression to show that you're focusing on the specifics. Well, the area where I grew up was actually quite a long way from the center. You say it. Make sure you get the stress and rhythm. Say it again. The area where I grew up was actually quite a long way from the center. If you made some mistakes before, say it again. Now we'll just do it once more and then we'll do some drill. The area where I grew up was actually quite a long way from the center. Say it again. Now we're going to make substitutions here. So we start off with the example we've got. I will say this, you say the whole expression, and then listen to me say it and check whether you've done the same thing. The area where I grew up was the center. The area where I grew up was actually quite a long way from the center. Make sure you said the same thing. Next one. My university is my home. You speak. My university is actually quite a long way from my home. The nearest gym is my work. The nearest gym is actually quite a long way from my work. My grandparents' home was my family house. My grandparents' home was actually quite a long way from my family house. My high school was my home. My high school was actually quite a long way from my home. My office is my home. My office is actually quite a long way from my home. And the last one, my best friend's home was my house. My best friend's home was actually quite a long way from my house. So notice we're trying to make these kind of words make it very natural. The area where I grew up was actually quite a long way from the center. Those are the things that add to the quality of our speech. Practice that, but we'll leave that now for the time being.